ugly Cavaliers loss yesterday. There's no other way to put it. They lost by 29 points to the Denver Nuggets. And afterwards, Donovan Mitchell had a few comments that I wanted to get your guys' opinions on. There's two quotes, both from Chris Fedor in Cleveland.com. The beat writer for the Cavs wrote an article on it. These are direct verbatim from that. So I'll read you the two quotes, and then we can discuss. The first quote from Donovan: "We've got to play better. No other way around it. It's on all of us. Starts with me, but we have to play better, simply put. We've shown we can do it, and that's what's frustrating. Not like we don't have the capability to do it. That's a championship-level team without their second-best player. Credit to them. They executed well, and they have guys who have won rings and been there. But if we want to be that, a 29-point loss ain't it." He went on to follow up that comment with, quote, "I can say all this now. We have to find a way to figure it out. It's not going to linger after night. Have to watch the film and get back to what we do. But it can't happen. We can all point to shit. It's April. It's bleeping April. We got to figure it out, and we will." Jay, your thoughts?
I believe every word of that except the last three.
The last three being,
and we will.
He's saying all the right things. Yeah. I made the comparison earlier in the show. I'll stand by it. I hope they prove me wrong. They are pulling a Philadelphia Eagles. They went from a team that couldn't lose. They were 18-2 in the stretch after New Year's Day. They looked like they had figured out a new way to skin the cat, if you will. They were 4 out, 1 in. Everybody had a role. And all this thing is, there can be all these roles, but if the gears go like this, the machine moves forward. But if the gears are gnashing, it's just sitting still, and they're not moving it forward. Now, Friday night, something happened Friday night that really surprised me. With the game in the balance, Evan Mobley jacks a three, and when it came out of his hand, I'm like, no! Yes! It went in. I think he shot 2 threes on the night. He made them both. But that moment, for me, and Brad Doherty even said it, and it could be looked at as hyperbole. Brad said that's the biggest basket of his career.
100% without a doubt.
I mean, it could be, depending on what happens moving forward. Why would he say that three, which ended up deciding the game, was the biggest basket of his career? It's because that he decided to pull the trigger in that position. And there was no hesitation. He got the ball, he squared, he shot, and it was nothing but net. And I was like, oh my God, that's the unicorn we've been looking for. If that can be a predictor of what he's going to look like going forward, then all bets are off. This team, I think, can soar to heights that I didn't think they could hit. But I just have serious doubts. I don't know what's wrong with Darius Garland. Darius Garland is all of a sudden afraid to shoot the ball. Donovan Mitchell, I'm going to give a pass. He didn't play well in either of the last 2 games. He missed some time.
He's hurt.
So he's injured. So I don't expect him to look that, like the old Donovan Mitchell. But I think when the season is over after the first playoff series, we're going to look back to that 18-2 stretch. I don't see them beating a playoff team right now. I don't. I know there's still, 7 games?
7 games left.
7 games?
7 games left.
It's not like they can't figure it out. I just don't have a high degree of confidence that they're going to.
So I did I did my Ultimate 2-on-6 show a couple hours before the Cavs game yesterday, and I asked, on this 5-game road trip, did you believe the Cleveland Cavaliers can do anything to restore optimism in the fan base? You damn sure didn't get off to a good start in doing that yesterday, right? You still came out lazy, no energy, no effort on the defensive side of the ball. For a J.B. Bickerstaff-led team to have defense being your staple, and you let the Nuggets shoot 63% from 3, I think 57% overall for the game, it's absolutely ridiculous. Now, as far as the comments go, I agree. He said all the right things. And this is Donovan Mitchell yet again showing his leadership. He's taking accountability for his poor play, and he's making his teammates accountable as well. I told Jason before the show, and this is just my opinion because I'm not at the arena, I'm not in the locker room, but often post-game when I hear J.B. Bickerstaff speaks, he sounds like a man that constantly is making excuses for his ball club. He never holds himself or the players accountable for poor play. There's no reason in the world why Evan Mobley shot more three-pointers than Darius Garland yesterday, and nothing was said or done about it. Now, if he's saying things behind closed doors, cool. But to me, even when Donovan Mitchell don't play well, his mere presence, it seems like that's the calling card to energizing this team. It's almost like, you know what, if my coach won't hold me or the rest of this team accountable publicly, then I will. Sometimes you got to be publicly humiliated, so to speak, to kind of light a fire under your ass. And this team needs that. You know, we talk about Donovan Mitchell not playing his best ball. His second game back, he's clearly still hurt. My man has had one 20-point game since the All-Star break.
Yeah.
And that was the 31-point performance against the Dallas Mavericks, man. But he played 4 games in the month of March. They got to get the ship right, and I don't know if they could. You know, Mike asked me, well, who would you rather play? The truth of the matter is, right now, it don't matter.
I agree with that.
I don't have much faith that the Cavs is going to win in the first round of the playoffs.
I don't either.
Well, what's the other thing you said? Because I thought the most interesting thing you said was you felt like Donovan was more important than
Yeah, I felt like he gets more. I feel like Donovan Mitchell is more important to the Cleveland Cavaliers than JB Bickerstaff is. I feel like
God, I think
he gets more
absolutely
out of the players than the coach does.
And to what I would say to that is every superstar
Is more important
is
than
more
their
important
coach.
than the coach.
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
The NBA, and you see that with the Spurs. Greg Popovich is hailed as one of the greatest basketball minds in the game. The Spurs have been awful for years because they haven't had the players. Like, it's always the players are more important. LeBron,
Belichick in the NFL with Brady's absence.
the Cavs went to the NBA Finals with David Blatt as their head coach. Like, it's always the players. And so I agree with that. And I do think the JB that you see at the podium is probably different than the JB they see in the locker room. There are some guys, and JB clearly is one of these guys, that you're just not going to throw your players under the bus publicly. And there's just coaches that
That doesn't end well in today's NBA when you do that.
no.
I mean, you better have the cachet of a Kerr,
Absolutely.
of a Pop,
Yeah.
if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
I guess I'm looking for more constructive criticism, not necessarily just straight out dogging his players.
Yeah.
But it just seems like to me, every time he speaks, he makes an excuse of why this is what it was. Like his post-game comments yesterday was totally different from what Donovan Mitchell's post-game comments were.
Yeah.
And maybe I guess I should expect that to be the case. But as a fan, I would just like my head coach to come out here.
I'm
that's
with
fair.
you. I
That's
want
fair.
fire too.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with
And
that.
put them all on blast. Don't point anybody out individually, but just come out. And what I would have liked to hear him say, you could talk about effort. Effort's free.
Yeah.
Effort is, you can give the same amount of effort as an NBA superstar. It's just determination. How much are you going to give? I was hoping he would have come out after the game and said, this effort is 1,000% unacceptable.
Yeah.
And if we continue to see this effort, we're going to have a very short postseason.
Yeah, that's all that is
That's
in balance.
fine.
That all of that is fair. Here's the thing that concerns me the most about the Cavs. Donovan Mitchell is hurt. It's April, and Donovan Mitchell is hurt. Watch him on the floor.
It's not the same.
He's not the same player. And this team is only going to go as far as he takes them. And I do think that they have a lot of talent on this roster, but they are so conditioned now to playing with Donovan and having Donovan lead them. And I've talked about all year long, play left-handed, figure out how to play left-handed. Don't wait on Donovan to bail you out all the time. Well, it is what it is at this point, and this is how they're conditioned to play, and it has to be the Donovan show. And now he's hurt, and he's not going to be better magically in the next 7 games. And I don't know enough about his injury to know if he just kept rushing back and making it worse, or if it was, this is as good as it's going to get. I have to suck it up and fight through this. I tend to believe it's probably more that than they kept rushing him back and setting him back.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever the injury is, it defies logic that it's going to get better if you're playing on it.
Sure, but there are some
But
things.
you really, at this point, can't afford to sit him the last
you can't.
7.
You really
And
can't.
then hope that you can find it magically when the switch needs
that's
flipped.
not going to happen.
No.
And we've seen we've seen dysfunctional marches in Cleveland many, many, many times before, and we always think it's the end of the world, and they always figured it out. But that was when they had a transcendental, best of all time player.
Yeah.
They don't have that. Donovan is not that guy. So this is a problem, and I am very concerned. Donovan's right when he says it's April, and like this is not good. This you would hope, and we knew March was going to be bad. We knew the March schedule was bad, and it was, and it did chew them out. And then they had injuries on top of that, so they're still banged up. They're still in a bad spot, and I think the Eagles comparison is apt. I think that it's a team that probably hit its stride too soon. schedule related to a lot of it. They took advantage of opponents. You can only play the guys that are on your schedule when they're there.
Right.
So they didn't do anything wrong from that sense, but there's a beat-up team right now. You know, I talked about the importance of Dean Wade. Now here he is hurt again coming into the playoffs. You don't know. Last year he was hurt. It didn't go well for him. He's very, very important to what they do. And if he's still beat up and banged up in 2 weeks from now, you know, it's just they're not in a good spot. There is so much riding on the season. We've talked all year about how important this season is, how important this postseason is, how important it is to this franchise's future, to the fate of a lot of people involved in this organization. And right now, it is not trending.